Good afternoon, folks. My name is David Smith. I'm starting a new vlog, Correctional Officer Lifestyle. I've worked in the Department of Corrections in the state of Florida for almost 25 years. July 1st of 2019 will be 25 years. I was just given a 25-year pin, come to think of it. It's really a blessing. It's really a great thing. You know, I've made a career out of something that is a very difficult profession. This vlog is not about what happens inside the fence. This vlog is completely different from that. This is the Correctional Officer Lifestyle. It is what happens when you're not at work. It is what you need to have going for you when you're not at work to keep the job from consuming you. Understand, when you work in the Department of Corrections, when you join up for the Department of Corrections, you're not just getting a job, you're joining a brotherhood. The men and women that work in the Florida Department of Corrections are as much of my family as my brothers, my sisters. My sisters, I don't have any brothers. My sisters, my sons, my wife, my dad, my stepdad. They're just as much family to me as my family. So when you join the Department of Corrections, you are joining a brotherhood. That being said, I watch a lot of motivational videos and give a shout out to Lou Holst because he says something that I absolutely believe in. As an individual, I have the right to fail. We all do. We all have the right to fail. But when you become part of a team, that changes because you do not have the right to cause everybody else to fail because you did not step up and do the very best of your ability. So that's something that I take to heart. In the Florida Department of Corrections or in any Department of Corrections, doesn't matter what state or what country, you're going to face challenges that the general public are going to run from. We often run towards the danger that other people run from. We're constantly outnumbered. We have no friends on the inside except for each other. So we run to danger that most people run from. That being said, it's probably a good idea for you to learn how to leave your work at work and leave your home life at home. It's kind of a difficult thing to be all about business at work and to be all about home at home, but once you master it, it's great. I remember several times when I was a sergeant, I would come home and my wife would look at me and say, "Sergeant Smith, go back to work. Find my husband and send him home," because she didn't particularly care for the guy that I was when I came home because I was still angry about whatever situation happened at work. So, you have to learn how to leave work at work and leave home at home. You need to be all business when you're at work, and you need to be all home when you're at home, and that's possibly the absolute hardest thing that you're going to ever attempt to do when you join the Brotherhood of the Department of Corrections. What I found helps me is I find a lot of stuff to do outside of work. I'm a competing power lifter. I play music. I sing. I love anything to do with the church. I firmly believe Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And whenever I pick up a guitar, 9 times out of 10, it is to sing praises to Him. And that keeps me grounded spiritually, which helps keep me grounded emotionally. And, of course, the powerlifting keeps me grounded physically. As I mentioned, I'm married. I've been married for almost as long as I worked for the Department of Corrections. And my wife and kids are my support system. Of course, my stepdad works in the department, so he's also a support system, but I don't see him as often as I see my wife. I don't see him as often as I see my kids, even though they're still in college. So you depend on your support network, but remember that they're your loved ones. They're not an extension of what you go through at work. So depend on them, but don't demean them, and you won't mean to do it. It's not something you're going to do intentionally, but you're going to come home days and just, if your wife doesn't have what it takes to look at you and tell you to go back to work and send your husband home or your significant other, whatever, then you need to depend on yourself to do that for them. There are people who are willing to help you. If you're in over your head, if you feel that you've got some anger issues, or you've got some emotional issues, or you've got this going on or that, or whatever it is, there are people that are willing to help you. In the brotherhood that we're a part of, it has often been seen as a sign of weakness to ask for help. That is so far from the truth, I can't even begin to describe how far from the truth it is. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is a sign of maturity. If you need help, get it. In the Florida Department of Corrections, I can't speak for any other department, in the Florida Department of Corrections, we have an employee assistance program through E4 Health, and they have counselors on standby, pretty much on standby, waiting to help you. And they can set you up with a counselor that you can actually go sit in their office and have 6 sessions completely free. You don't have to pay anything out of pocket. 6 counseling sessions to help you get through whatever problem you're facing, and it is just a blessing. And if you don't use it, you're cutting yourself short on every single thing that you could have to help you get through this part of your life, to help you with this job. The job is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak of spirit. It's really not a job that everybody can do. Suicide rates are extremely high in the Florida Department of Corrections. I think it's 3 times the national average of people that commit suicide are correctional officers. So if, let's say, just to throw some numbers out there, these are not official statistics in any way, but let's say you have 100,000 people. If 15 of them take their lives in a year, then you can bet 45 correctional officers out of 100,000 will take their lives in that same year. I mean, it's that drastic. Divorce rates are extremely high in the Department of Corrections. So use what I'm going to give you in these video series, in this vlog, to help you. And definitely, if you need help, ask for it. If you don't ask for it, you'll never get it. And if you need it, get it. It's not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of maturity. As I said, this Correctional Officer Lifestyle, David Smith, worked in Florida Department of Corrections 24 years plus, almost 25 years, and see you in the next video.